What's going on? So, I want to kind of give you a little background story in the MG starting the build series. So, why an MG, why K series, why a lot of the decisions I made. Starting off, why an MG? So, back in 2019, I was able to buy an MGB that my grandfather owned. He passed away in 2018, and me and him were real close. Taught me a lot that I know about cars, if not everything. Taught me a lot about just getting my hands dirty and kind of raised me in hot rods. Fortunately, he passed, like I said, in 2018 from Parkinson's dementia, and I was pretty lost. When this car came known that it was out there, because all of his other cars had been sold off at this point, and it was something I could afford at the time, I jumped on it. So this specific shell is not the shell that was his. It was actually a red shell. I do have parts off that car on this car, but unfortunately due to frame rail rust, rocker rust, and floor rust, it is more so gone than I really imagined. Looked like a complete car, but had really poor repairs done that were before my grandfather owned it, by the previous owner before him. So picked up the car, kind of really didn't know what I wanted to do with it. Originally thought about taking the motor, putting a supercharger on it, making 100, 120 horsepower, and just kind of keeping it simple. Then I looked at putting a rotary in it, 12A rotary with carbs or a 13B with turbo. If you know rotaries, they're expensive. They're hard to find, especially in decent condition. And I just was not interested in taking something I've never worked with or messed with before and trying to spend all this money and figure it out, especially when there's plenty I'm learning on this car. So they have LS swap kits, they have 302 kits, but I kind of wanted to stick with a 4-cylinder because this was a 1.8 cast iron single over KM 4-cylinder, and kind of started looking around, looked at Miata swaps. They're common too, but K series, they're available, they're all over the place, they have support, and they're really coming up in the rear wheel drive world. And with this car being less than 2,000 pounds, having a lightweight engine, lightweight trans that can rev high, sounds like a perfect combo. So that's where I started with the K series. It is a K20A3, like I said in the last video. I bought it off Marketplace. In hindsight, I probably should have went with like a K20A2 or K24A2. But I didn't know. I'm impulsive, so I kind of just jumped into it. But, so that's what's in the car now. Eventually I'll probably go do a K20A2 head on it, or looking to do a K24A2 base with a K20A2 head, kind of do a Frankenstein build. It would be cool to see 300 horsepower in it. So that's what's in there now. It does have Miata 5-speed. I paid $90 for it with a drive shaft. And kind of how I got around that is I bought a entire car that had no wheels and tires on it, that was halfway parted out with a bad head on it, for $190. When I picked it up, brought it home, there was a guy at a local O'Reilly's that we somehow sparked up a conversation. I told him, give me $100 and come pull the trans and pull the drive shaft, and you can have the car. So we worked a deal. So yeah, that's how I ended up with, it is a 5-speed. I do eventually want to go 6-speed just to have a little bit more power out of it, or power capability, because these are pretty limited, like 250. So then moving on from there, kind of digging in. I mean, I've just been building this like a budget build. K Miata adapter, flywheel, all used, bought off a spec Miata racer. Rear axles, got Scarebird disc brakes, worked a deal with a buddy designing a frame for him. And so he gave me the axle. And then kind of same thing with the front brakes and spoiler, same guy. He's just been kind of helping me along the way, and I've been helping him. The hood, it's a factory aluminum hood, found it on Marketplace in some random description. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it's an oddball car. It's not something you usually see, and I really hope that it kind of challenges people to start stepping out of their box. I don't know how to weld. I'm teaching myself how to weld right now. I didn't know how to do engine swaps. I didn't know how to do wiring like I am now. I don't know how to do tuning, but I'm gonna teach myself to do that. So a lot of this is I'm learning on the fly. And if I can do it, so can anyone else. But yeah, I mean, if you have any questions about the build, I'm more than happy to ask or answer. I do want to post plenty of videos on the build, so if you have video ideas on the build, always give me suggestions. I'll be trying to document most of everything. And yeah, glad y'all are here, and I hope you continue to follow along.